Hey everybody, Woody here. I want to welcome you back to this mission course that we're doing, Did Jesus Rise from the Dead? And throughout this course, we're kind of walking through this phrase. This phrase is 500 women died following the body. 500 women died following the body. And each part of that phrase is going to correspond with a piece of evidence that contributes to the overall case, really, that Jesus, we think, did in fact rise from the dead. So 500 women died following the body. Let's talk about this idea of 500. We're going to talk about how there were 500 witnesses. I want to jump back to the 1 Corinthians 15 passage that we mentioned in the first session. And I'm going to read from the beginning through verse 6. So Paul's writing here. He says, "Now I would remind you, brothers, of the gospel I preached to you, which you received, in which you stand, and by which you are being saved, if you hold fast to the word I preached to you, unless you believed in vain. For I delivered to you as of first importance what I also received, that Christ died for our sins in accordance with the Scriptures, that he was buried, that he was raised on the third day in accordance with the Scriptures, and that he appeared to Cephas, then to the 12, then he appeared to more than 500 brothers at one time, most of whom are still alive, though some have fallen asleep." This first really piece of evidence is really short and sweet. We see here in this passage that Paul's writing about the resurrection, and he's kind of detailing how it all went down. That Jesus died for our sins, that he was buried, and that on the third day he was raised, and then he appeared. He appeared to a few different people. And then what's interesting is verse 6. He says, "Then he appeared to more than 500 at one time." 500 at one time. Now what's amazing about this is the fact that 500 people at one time is amazing. One thing that we can really verify or say is true is that you can't really have a hallucination with a group of people, right? Maybe one person could have a hallucination and say, "I saw something, I saw someone," but for 500 people to have a group hallucination is a really kind of a crazy idea. If we all took some kind of drug to make us have hallucinations, which maybe we shouldn't, but if that happened, we would not all have the same hallucination. It would be crazy if even two people had the same hallucination or imagined the same thing. But for 500 people to have that same idea would be wild. So the fact that Jesus appears to 500 people at one time is a really interesting testament to the fact that he might have actually risen from the dead. The fact that Jesus appeared to more than 500 people at one time is strong evidence that these people actually saw something. What I love is that Paul, after he says that Jesus appeared to 500 people, says most of whom are still alive. Meaning that, some of them, they're older and they've passed away, they're dead now. But a lot of them are still alive. You can go talk to them and they'll explain to you how they saw a resurrected Jesus. Paul gives them the opportunity to go straight to the sources, go to the other people. And if you don't believe me, go talk to them and they'll verify it for you too. Paul tells them you can go and speak with them as well. And what's so fascinating about Christianity, with the way that it rose and blew up and expanded, really in the society of this time, it would be so easy to disprove Christianity by going to these people and getting the truth from them, that Jesus didn't actually appear. But if he did appear to those 500 people, that explains why Christianity caught on like wildfire in that society and expanded all over the world, even 2,000 years later to right now. It seems like those 500 people actually saw something, that they might have actually seen a resurrected Jesus with marks in his hands and his feet, showing that he was who he said he was. So there were 500 witnesses. That's it for this session. I want to thank you for watching. I want to encourage you, maybe share this video with 2 people that should watch it, whether they're a Christian or a non-Christian. I want to thank you so much for being here with us, and we'll see you in the next session, session 3, where we talk about women.